In 1750, your life expectancy was 35 years. No hospitals, no electricity, no clean water. Making a single shirt took 3 weeks. But then, between 1760 and 1840, humanity changed more than it had in the previous 10,000 years. Everything you see around you, every device, every comfort, every freedom exists because of what happened next. This is the story of the Industrial Revolution. And this is how it happened. England, 1750. If you traveled back, your life would be unrecognizable. 95 out of every 100 people worked the land. Not because they wanted to, because there was no other choice. To make one shirt, one person spun thread, another wove fabric, someone else cut and sewed, all by hand, all by candlelight. For weeks, life moved at the speed of the sun. You worked when it rose, you slept when it set. For most people, the village where they were born was the village where they would die. London had 700,000 people. Manchester, just 18,000. Birmingham, 24,000. These weren't cities, they were overgrown villages. But something was stirring. Something that would transform not just England, but the entire world. It started underground. Coal. Britain had mountains of it. But there was a problem. The deeper you dug, the more water flooded in. Miners spent half their time just bailing water with buckets. It was exhausting, it was dangerous, and it was slowing everything down. Then in 1712, a man named Thomas Newcomen built something remarkable. A machine that used steam to pump water out of mines. It was clunky, it was inefficient, but it worked. For the first time in human history, a machine was doing work that once required dozens of men and horses. But it took a Scottish engineer named James Watt to see what this engine could really become. In 1765, Watt made one modification, a separate condenser. One change, 4 times more efficient, 4 times more powerful. And here's what nobody saw coming. If steam could pump water, it could do anything. It could power machines. It could spin wheels. It could turn gears. It could move the world. The age of the machine had begun. In 1764, James Hargreaves invented the Spinning Jenny. One worker could now do the work of 8. Richard Arkwright's water frame made threads stronger and faster than ever before. A skilled hand spinner could make 1 thread at a time. These machines, over 100 threads simultaneously. And so they built buildings to house these machines, massive buildings. They called them factories, and they needed people to operate them. Lots of people. Manchester. 1850 years after our story began, the city had exploded to 90,000 people. By 1850, over 300,000. People poured in from the countryside. Farmers became factory workers. Villages became slums. The rhythm of the sun was replaced by the rhythm of the machine. The factory whistle blew at 6 a.m. You worked until 8 p.m. 14 hours, 6 days a week. Men, women, children, as young as 5. Children were preferred. Small hands could reach into machinery. Small bodies could crawl beneath equipment. And small voices couldn't complain as loudly. After 14 hours in the factory, workers returned to tenements, entire families crammed into single rooms. No running water, no sanitation, disease spread like wildfire. In 1832, a cholera outbreak killed over 20,000 people in Britain. The average life expectancy in industrial cities, 30 years old. Some fought back. The Luddites smashed machines. They believed the machines were stealing their livelihoods, destroying their lives. The government responded by making machine breaking punishable by death. Progress, it seemed, demanded sacrifice. But then, 1825, the Stockton and Darlington Railway opened, the world's first public railway. George Stephenson's locomotive could travel at 15 miles per hour faster than any horse. Suddenly, distance collapsed. What took days now took hours. Within 25 years, Britain had 6,000 miles of railway track. Goods moved, people moved, ideas moved. The telegraph lets you communicate across continents instantly. Steam-powered ships crossed oceans in weeks instead of months. Iron and steel production multiplied 100-fold. By 1850, Britain produced more than half of the world's iron, coal, and cotton. It was the workshop of the world, the first industrial superpower. So, what did it all mean? Was the Industrial Revolution good or evil? The truth? Both. And neither. Yes, children worked in factories, but those factories eventually created wealth that built schools, that funded medicine, that gave us vaccines, antibiotics, and a life expectancy of over 70 years. Yes, we poisoned rivers and blackened skies, but we also learned. We created environmental movements. We innovated cleaner technologies. Yes, workers were exploited, but they organized, they fought, and they won. Weekends, 8-hour workdays, child labor laws. The Industrial Revolution didn't just give us machines, it gave us a new way of thinking. It proved that humans could reshape reality itself. And now, we stand in the fourth industrial revolution. Artificial intelligence, automation, robotics. The same questions our ancestors faced, we face today. Will machines take our jobs? Will progress leave people behind? How do we ensure that technology serves humanity, not the other way around? In 1750, your ancestors lived in a world powered by muscle and fire. Today, you live in a world powered by ideas. That transformation didn't happen by accident. It happened because people dared to imagine a different world. And then they built it. The Industrial Revolution taught us something crucial. The future isn't something that happens to us. It's something we make. So the only question left is, what will you make?